welcome back again. I'm in my beautiful green color. Green is life. Oh yes. Welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much guys for supporting my channel, for supporting the Black Beauty TV, for subscribing, for watching my video, and for everything. If you are new to my channel, before we even go further, kindly like the video, kindly subscribe to the channel. Guys, we need to be at least, we are on the way to 30K. We need to be 30,000 as we are celebrating the victory of the JLP. Because for real, for sure, by God's grace, there's nothing that is going to stop you, green. Because you know what? Green is life. Even when it is dry season, in rainy season, everything comes back to life and it turns all into green color. So green is life. And as we'll be celebrating green all over September, that's how I will also be celebrating here in my carbon as the real CEO of my carbon. Today guys, anyway, without wasting much of your time, we're going to look into the report that the JLP has brought, not against, like it's just a reply to the PNP after many years of accusing the JLP of corruption. Now in return, the JLP have said that in the whole of how many years the PNP has destroyed Jamaica, destroyed the reputation of the country, and have tried all their possible best to tarnish their image. But only God knows, because Jamaica, among the Caribbean, Jamaica is also one of the countries that is doing very, very well. And there was nothing tangible to hold the JLP responsible of the baseless, or how do I put it, accusations from the PNP. Now we want to go, guys, watch this video. It's somehow long, but I just want to play these videos for you guys, because there is no how I will explain these things for you guys to understand it. At the end of the day, you know, now me, I'm Jamaican without citizenship. So I want you guys to hear this thing, to listen to it carefully, the reply from the JLP to the PNP. Listen to it carefully, and then put your own opinion on the comment section. Because a lot of you, I told you guys that me, I also love anything. In fact, everybody, whether you are PNP, JLP, as long you are a Jamaican, in fact, me, Jamaica is home. And when you choose Jamaica, definitely you choose everything about Jamaica. And that is why I always tell you guys that I am not a politician, but everybody is my brother. So even me, that I'm nothing, I'm just coming here to do reaction. Some JLP members will come and tell me, oh, if you go to Jamaica, they will do you like that. No, it's not supposed to be like that. We are not supposed to be violent against each other, against one another, just because in life it's like that. You might like me, I will not like you. Another person will like you, will not like me. That is it. You can't force somebody to like you. It's just natural. If I like green, it is natural. Shower, shower. And I will surely come to Jamaica, and nothing is going to happen to me. Is the reality, because nobody passed God. You understand? Now we want to go and watch it, like the video as we move ahead. Those PNP, sorry guys, I have to make this clear before I go. For those of you PNP that always come here to tell me that, the JLP are so corrupt, the Prime Minister have 28 bank account and could not give account of any of these accounts. Listen to this carefully, and then you make your conclusion. If you accuse somebody of having all those accounts, there are people that can also do check-ins and see if really are those accounts having money, are those accounts having some corrupted embezzlement money inside. Or I am not in the position to say that, but let's go and listen to the reply and the report of the JLP. Thank you guys for always watching the Black Beauty TV, and see you in a short while.
Just try to touch on a few areas, and I want to start with the title of the PNP's manifesto. And I want to make it clear that my view is that, and my considered view, is that the title they have used is the most insincere and disingenuous title which the PNP could have chosen for their manifesto. Why do I say this? They have spent the last 3 to 4 years tearing down Jamaica in every forum, whether domestically or internationally, maligning our systems recklessly without any concern as to the risk to which they have put our systems or our beloved country. They have maligned the media, which affects global media freedom positioning on the index. They have accused us recklessly and baselessly of corruption, which affects our transparency perception index. We are grateful that the Journalists Without Borders do, however, check their facts, because we have continued to do very well within the Caribbean on that index, and we have continued to score the highest as compared to under the PNP's administration on the Transparency Perception Index, because it is recognized that the facts do not match with the PNP's narrative. However, not only to tear Jamaica down internationally, but to start your campaign with the mantra of blood and fire, recalling one of, if not the most politically violent periods in Jamaica's history, at a time when the government is working relentlessly to restore peace. And then, as you approach the election date, you magically seek to print a document with the word love on it and the word Jamaica on it, and expect that the Jamaican people should accept that you are truly a peace-loving party and that you are truly a patriotic country, when all of your conduct over the last 3 to 4 years has crossed the line long ago beyond productive and constructive criticism and opposition into unpatriotic and anti-Jamaican conduct. It is disingenuous, it is, to put it softly, insincere, and I want the Jamaican people to be clear that the PNP has shown you who they are, and so we must believe them. One document, slapdash, cut and paste, AI generated, however you put it, it is not sufficient to correct who they have shown themselves to be. The next point that I want to take is more on the lines of content. And again, however, regrettably, I have no conclusion other than that they are, again, entirely disingenuous or perhaps uninformed. The extent to which their policies replicate or repackage policies and programs in place already by the Jamaica Labour Party is astonishing. It is astonishing. And I heard someone this morning on the radio describing it as continuity, which we should celebrate. But that is in fact not the case. If it were continuity, they would say so. But what they have done is actually position the programs and the policies as if they are new and as if they are theirs, without any reference or acknowledgement to the fact that there are things in progress. That is not continuity. That is political and intellectual dishonesty. Or ignorance. The Jamaican people can assess and decide which one it is. Neither one is good or ready to lead. If I take that approach and apply it to the Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade section of the manifesto, because as my colleagues have worn their portfolio hats, I'm going to wear my hat for a little while. Their very first proposal, if I recall correctly, is that they will restore active re-engagement within CARICOM. Who is chair of CARICOM? Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness is the chair of the Conference of Heads of Government and State of CARICOM at this point in time. For the second time, we have chaired COFCOR, we have chaired COTED. Prime Minister is also the chair of the External Trade Negotiations Committee in the quasi-cabinet of CARICOM, one of the areas which is most critical and on which he is leading now, given the various trade challenges which are affecting the region. We were the very first country in the Caribbean. Prime Minister Holness was the first Prime Minister in Parliament to call for the UN to assist Haiti. He was the only, and is to date, the only CARICOM Prime Minister who has gone to Haiti to meet with stakeholders, to engage with their leadership and their political stakeholders with a view to finding solutions. Jamaica hosted 2 Haiti stakeholder meetings, including the one that delivered the breakthrough for the establishment of the Transitional Presidential Council, which is currently offering leadership to that country. To say that you are going to actively re-engage, are you uninformed or are you politically dishonest? Again, Jamaica must make the choice, having looked, but neither is good. I want to make the point as well, in respect of their engagement with CARICOM, that when we took office, I'm sure you must all know, even if you didn't personally experience, but how Jamaicans were treated when we traveled within the region was not good. And it was particularly bad with Trinidad, and our goods were not given access to their markets, and we have literally fixed both problems. We now travel with very good relations. They're not perfect. No system is ever perfect when you're relying on individuals to implement systems, but government to government, across administrations on their side, and certainly as it has been over the last 9 years, massively improved, and something that we continue to work on. Our trade within CARICOM continues to be positive, and in fact we've even had several win-win circumstances where we have been exporting refined oil to Trinidad, which they are able to add value to and export elsewhere, earning on both sides. So again, to actively restore engagement, we're not sure where they're coming from with all of that. I want to also note that they have said that they will be working and restoring on international cooperation and human rights and self-determination, etc. But Jamaica has stood on every forum or in every forum for the territorial sovereignty of Guyana and Belize in their territorial disputes. We have stood with Ukraine in their war, which has sought to offend the principles of territorial integrity and sovereignty. We have recognized the state of Palestine with a view to seeking a two-state solution. We are the first government to make that recognition since independence, which means that the PNP has never done it, even though they're willing to try and raise a flag, again demonstrating that they are all about gimmicks and image and what they think people want to see out here. But when it comes to doing the actual work, the Jamaica Labour Party is doing it already. They say that they're going to engage the diaspora on constitutional reform, but Minister Malahoo Fort has been having town halls in the US and in the UK, and this process is not done yet. So they're not adding any value to the area of foreign affairs and foreign trade. And I really, really suggest that they do a little research and maybe check out our website. They also said that they will restore brand Jamaica. And I also have to make the point, because it's related, that they have not even mentioned the word multilateralism in their foreign affairs section. Multilateralism is the core of small state foreign policy. One state, one vote is the only way for countries like Jamaica, like our CARICOM member states, small island developing states, to have an equal voice on the global challenges that affect us all, like climate change, like financing for development, and other major issues. And to not even have it referenced in a passing way shows a fundamental lack of understanding of where we are in the world and what we need to do to navigate the very choppy seas which exist. And in restoring Brand Jamaica, I have to ask, which PNP leader or member has ever been invited to the G7? Which one has ever been invited to the G20? Which one has ever been invited to BRICS or BRICS Plus? I don't know if any have. In fact, I know they haven't. But I can say that Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness has attended, and I'm happy to announce and make public that over the past month, he has since been invited to the G20 again by President Ramaphosa, the incoming president of the G20. He has been invited to the G20 again by the incoming president of G20, President Ramaphosa. So we're not speaking about things that have long gone and that things have changed and our reputation has changed. Not at all. Prime Minister Holness, Jamaica, and indeed the government under the Labour Party is held in the highest regard internationally. And if I just add one more, and I know, Mr. Chairman, that I can't go on forever, but which of their leaders have ever been asked by a UN Secretary General to lead any global initiative? Again, the answer is going to be the same to both, because Prime Minister Andrew Holness has been asked to lead more than one on climate finance, on financing for development, on the Sustainable Development Goals, and on which he co-chairs the SG's leadership initiative. On crime, the PNP's manifesto is an absolute and complete and abject failure. On crime, the PNP's manifesto is a complete failure. In a country where organized gangs are responsible for more than 70% of murders, are directly responsible for more than 70% of murders, the PNP's manifesto does not even include the word gang. There's a vague reference to scamming networks in a sentence somewhere in it, but they have not even said the word gangs. They absolutely 100% do not understand how to deal with crime in this country. On the other hand, the government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Holness and Dr. Chang, have been relentlessly dismantling gangs, bringing them down from over 300 to just over 100. And that has not changed the percentage or proportion for which gangs are responsible for murders. It still remains at an average 70% because it shifts even with gang activity. I want to make it clear that this fundamental lack of understanding is the very same reason why under the PNP between 1990 to 2007, when they were in office, Jamaica became known as the murder capital of the world. It was under them and their poor crime management that murders moved from 400 to over 1,000. It is under them between 2012 and 2016 that the gangs reorganized, even though they inherited a downward trending murder rate when they took office from the Labour Party in 2012. So this is not a party that you can trust on crime. They had an opportunity to demonstrate an understanding, and they have failed. I want to make it clear as well that even with that massive demonstration of a lack of understanding, in addition to that, we have more of their cut and paste, because of their 27 crime proposals, so the sensible ones, 70% of them are already being done. We are doing them already. And since we're doing them successfully, I think that the Jamaican people must understand that we are the party, we are the government in which they should put their trust on crime. Giving them responsibility again is going to undoubtedly reverse the gains that we have had. We are already celebrating more than 40% reduction, supporting the security forces with more mobility, more technology, more strategy, more training, more welfare support, better working conditions, more police stations that are renovated, built, and restored. And in that context, it is the Jamaica Labour Party who is the party that you should trust.
So you guys, that was a very, very long one. And I hope and pray that all those guys, PNP members, that always come to ask me or tell me about the corruption in the JLP, or how the JLP have corrupted Jamaica, how their prime minister had 20-something or 20 whatsoever bank account. I pray and I hope that this report has answered your question perfectly. This is very important, especially where it says, wait guys, where it says, they have reportedly made baseless accusation of corruption. Listen carefully. They have made that baseless accusation about corruption, despite the fact that Jamaica achieving its highest ever score on Transparency International's Global Index. So, since 2016, if the JLP were not transparent enough, there is no how they are going to score that kind of score in Transparency internationally. Are you guys understanding what I'm trying to say? And it went further to say they have falsely claimed suppression of press, freedom, even though, guys, listen carefully, even though Reporters Without Borders, who are the Reporters Without Borders? Reporters Without Borders, reporters all over the world who goes, in fact, they don't have border. They go to every country. They are from different countries. They might be even some Jamaicans or Europeans all over the world. So those Reporters Without Borders, they have also checked on the PNP, on the accusations about Jamaica. Let us read it furthermore and see. They have falsely claimed suppression or press freedom, even though Reporters Without Borders has done its own independent research. They have done their own research about Jamaica and have ranked Jamaica among the first in the world of journalists. Are you guys listening? Let us listen and let us hear. Listen, open your ears. It went further to say, they have sought to discredit the government achievement in every area. Is the reality. Me, I've seen it myself, that they have tried all their possible best not to ever see the good things that the JLP have done in Jamaica, in all areas. Yet, the manifesto now includes plan to strengthen CARICOM ties, ignoring the fact that the Prime Minister currently serves as head of CARICOM, chairs key committees, and represents the region on the global stage, having been invited to the G7, the G20, and the BRICS, and now the upcoming G20 under the presidency of President Ramaphosa. they have ignored the significant reduction in crime and violence achieved through sustained investment in security and dismantling of crime gangs. They dismiss the hard work being done to make communities safer, modernize infrastructure, expand education, and improve access to technology. That is the report, or that is what the JLP brought after the PNP has accused them in so many ways. And if Reporters Without Borders, they are not Jamaicans for you people to say, oh, they were bribed. No, they are not Jamaicans. They are just reporters all over the world without borders who have come to Jamaica, done their research, and did not find anything to hold the JLP, to hold them responsible for, and have taken Jamaica to the highest level internationally. That is the report. Now we go and listen to another report, and then maybe we call it a day. For now, guys, as you are enjoying the Black Beauty TV, kindly subscribe to my channel. I have to be also in between of my videos to advertise my channel. So kindly subscribe and be part of the Black Beauty TV as we move ahead.
I'm happy to report that the Jamaica Labour Party's general election campaign machinery is going well so far. We're comfortable with what has been happening, and we're comfortable with the response to date. I say so with utmost respect and humility for the work that we're doing and for the Jamaican people who are looking on and responding to the message led by the Most Honorable Prime Minister and party leader. We have, as you know, rolled out our achievements document. It was important for us because we have been in office for 9+ years, and we are pleased, having reviewed the response, the demands, the requests for more, and indeed the contents and the comments related to the contents, that it was the right thing to do, and the feedback on the ground has been extremely positive. Our first major mass rally, which was held in Halfway Tree, where we rolled out all our candidates on display and reinforced the message of the Labour Party. We are very satisfied both with the turnout, but the organization, in fact the commentary, both from those watching in TV land or those present, is quite positive, and it is for us in keeping with the approach that we expose and we want to maintain in this campaign as we have as a government: orderly, disciplined, and effective because of the consistency of the message. So those two large events we think have gone very well, and we're happy so far with what is happening. We are not going to get complacent, however, nor distracted, and there's a lot of noise in the environment. Our focus is to continue the work, and there are other things that will happen in the coming days and coming weeks, and you will be told or be kept abreast of those developments as they unfold. Nomination day, we're all set for that. That's on Monday, and our candidates are very confident, are prepared, are adding the final touches on the ground in their constituencies, in their communities, and oiling their machinery to make a positive impact, and of course to get the best possible result, which is to get them elected to the parliament. We have our own program, and we're pursuing our program, but it is a competitive space, and we have to take note of what the others are doing, and indeed where we think we need to comment, we comment. We do notice that the People's National Party rolled out a document that they have termed their manifesto. I just want to give a general summary, however, in the first instance, and then a quick summary on the health aspect, given that I man that portfolio. First of all, it clearly seemed to have been a very rushed and hurriedly prepared document, just by way of how it was laid out and the errors that were in the document, forces us to conclude that not a lot of thought went into it, and clearly the time that should have been spent that one would expect for an organization that is hoping to provide leadership in the country, that was certainly betrayed based on what we saw presented to the country. Having perused the document, we found multiple spelling errors. As a case in point, we were chastised for one spelling error in our achievements document. So we took the criticisms, and they did a lot of that criticizing. Their document had multiple, not one. I think the last count was about 8 or more, and that's just the spelling error. There were several inaccuracies in the document. The one that was quite outstanding to us is the reference to, in the table of contents, of 8 pillars, then the address by their leader of 10 pillars in the document, the same document, and then the term Jamaica Love, which has each letter referring to an area of focus, and that is 11 areas of focus. So the first question I would ask is, what is it? Is it a pillar of 8, a pillar of 10, or a pillar of 11? Clearly what it signals to us is that it is confusing, and you wonder if that is the approach that they would want to take to providing leadership as a government. I mentioned that because it sounds simple, but they made a big issue with it when they noticed the one spelling error in our document, and clearly it reflects on them and what they represent. For us, the manifesto seemed to have been a copy and paste wish list, ranging from being incoherent to major imitation of what currently entails and what this government is doing. In one case, it had a number of impractical suggestions that we think would need a lot more explanation and raises more questions than answers. And in another case, they seem to have repeated a lot of what the government is doing. And we are doing it with success. You know, they promised to reduce electricity costs, for example. But as you know, the debate, the discussion around them signing an electricity deal that drove up the cost of electricity. It is now that this government and the Minister Vaz, is now attempting to renegotiate that arrangement in order for the consumers, for the Jamaican people to benefit. The manifesto appears to be promoting ideas that seems not well thought out or risk reversing the gains we believe that we have made in terms of our economic model. And the theme Jamaica Loves doesn't reconcile if that's the direction the country is going to go in, because it's one thing to say you love Jamaica and love Jamaicans, but if your policies and programs run a risk of increasing debt, increasing poverty, and increasing unemployment, then clearly that is not a love that is worthy of note or certainly acceptance. And there are several examples of them prescribing certain policies that runs counter to what their theme captures in their manifesto. Our campaign has focused on critical achievements, and with good cause. And our achievements that we have listed, all 256, are tangible achievements. And we will continue to appeal to the Jamaican people to judge us on those achievements: the reduction in poverty, reduction in crime, the increase in employment, the largest job creation that has ever taken place, and several other achievements which we have put out on display and which have impacted people on the ground. That for us is the big pitch, and why we humbly suggest it justifies us remaining in office for the next 5 years. I'm going to spend a few minutes on health because, again, in keeping with the cut and paste approach, a number of things were suggested within the health portfolio that we are in fact addressing. They speak about maternal care. And I know they have made some issues with that in the past year. Maternal mortality is actually trending down. In the COVID years, it was just over 200. It's now 133 in a year ago. We're still tracking the numbers to see what it was last year. We have done a number of things to impact maternal mortality, in improving engagements with mothers early in their pregnancy, governance and monitoring, facilities and equipment that have been upgraded, a lot more engaging approach at the primary healthcare level. In fact, the statistics indicate that last year, some 45% of mothers visit with their health centers to get medical care and support and advice, as opposed to almost half that amount 3 years prior. And this was after COVID. So we are seeing significant improvements, and those improvements will continue. And what they are proposing in their manifesto is what we are actually doing. They speak about the National Health Fund and the expanded care that they propose to provide under the National Health Fund. Since 2015, 9 conditions of illness have been added to the National Health Fund. So the government has actually expanded coverage under the National Health Fund. We have added sickle cell disease, lupus, cervical cancer, attention deficit disorder, colorectal cancer, multiple myeloma, lung cancer, Parkinson's disease, and thyroid disease. In other words, these were areas that were not covered under the PNP and are now covered under this administration. In 2015, less than 1 million prescriptions were written. Last year, 3 million prescriptions were written. We have more outlets for drug dispensation, which we are giving more drugs. We're treating more categories of illnesses. And within the appropriate time, when our manifesto is unveiled, we will speak more about the additional role that the National Health Fund will take on. They speak about the diaspora and making it easier to donate. There's a number of things that we have done as a government to improve diaspora engagement. We've effectively set up an entity within the ministry. We have direct staff that now deals with diaspora arrangements. We have eliminated the cost to ship things in once they are verified as donations. We have made it easier to deal with clearance, customs clearance, with approvals if it's a medical mission. And one reflection of that success is the Adopt a Clinic program, where 55 health centers have been adopted across the country, and maybe 70% or thereabouts of those are linked to persons living in the diaspora. No other government has engaged the diaspora as effectively, not just in health, but in all areas. Credit to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, who has primary responsibility for that area. The final one I'll mention, even though there are several others, to allow my other colleagues to come in, is cancer care. It is a big area, and the government is seized with that. It's the fastest growing area of illness, even though it's not the largest cause of mortality in the country. We have done a number of things, both on the prevention side, where the issues around unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, tobacco legislation, alcohol, air pollution, the HPV vaccine, which has been introduced to the population, the introduction of the fecal immunochemical test for colorectal cancer screening in primary healthcare facilities, mammograms, which were not available before, are now available. We need to do more, but we have started to introduce those testing. It's available at KPH and Cornwall Regional, pap smear screening, an improvement in the turnaround time. Diagnostic services are more available today than they were in 2015 when they were there. I'm prepared to say we have more to do, but we are certainly better off, and we're on a journey that will take us to even a better place in the next term. And in terms of clinical care, We have had a technical working group updating clinical guidelines on breast, prostate, colorectal, and cervical cancers, as well as expansion of treatment services at a number of institutions, Mandeville Regional, Spanish Town, St. Anne's Bay Hospital, and, as I said earlier, 3 additional categories of cancer drugs introduced under the NHF, which never existed before. I say all of this, and it's just a summary, to say that what the PNP has done is essentially, in a sort of hodgepodge type of way, cut and paste, that's how it appears, and not very well or professional with all the errors that are present in the document, with ideas that are either being pursued with great success by this government or ideas that are impractical, and they would need to explain to the Jamaican people how they intend to implement those without putting us back to where we were when they were in office. I just want to say that our manifesto is ready and will be launched at an appropriate time, and therefore we will have a basis and hope the country and the voters will have a basis to compare and contrast. And we're very proud of the work that we have done. It is obviously a follow-on from the work that has been done over the last 9 years, and we believe it will put Jamaica at a better place and have us as a government doing even more for the people of Jamaica.
So you guys, in order not to make this video to be longer and longer, I have one thing that I have taken from this part of this video for me personally. If you love Jamaica, you will wish Jamaica well. You will not increase debt, you will not increase poverty, and you will try to minimize the crime rate in Jamaica. That is the love we want everybody. If you love Jamaica, you have to put everything in action. You cannot love Jamaica without wishing Jamaica well. That is what I have taken for my own part. What did you take for your own part? Kindly put it on the comment section, and that is the report for today from the JLP. Thank you so much, guys, for joining the Black Beauty TV, and thank you for liking my video. If you have liked, if you have subscribed, thank you so much, and God bless you. And we will see you again in another episode. Guys, pardon me and just enjoy this Jamaican episode of politics, because it will come to pass, or it shall come to pass, when our election is finished. Everything about politics, we'll be looking into the politics still. We'll be talking about Jamaica and how Andrew Holness is doing. If he's doing bad, we talk about the bad way. If he's doing good, we talk about the good things. But for now, let us focus on what is happening. We cannot leave what is happening and be looking for what is not yet happening. We'll do other Caribbean videos, African videos, but what is the happening right now is what we are doing right now. So thank you so much for watching the Black Beauty TV, and God bless you, and see you again in another episode. Have a wonderful weekend, and I love you back to back. Bye-bye.
Yeah, yeah. From the island sun to the world stage, this is Jamaica, one love forever. From the hills of Blue Mountain to Kingston town, we carry a sound that shake the ground. Bob Marley say, get up, stand up for your rights. Now the whole wide world singing in the night.
From Usain on the track, lightning fast, to the rhythms in the dance that will always last. We small on the map, but we shine so bright, giving the world a little island life.
Jamaica